financing partner security agencies. Details now. The world news begins with the umbrella body of Ijaw Youth. The Ijaw Youth Council worldwide warning Simon Ekpa and his group of Biafra agitators not to include them in their Biafra struggle. The group is insisting that the Ijaw people are not part of Biafra and will never be. IYC stated this while responding to a video on X platform popularly known as Twitter, where Ekpa claimed that the Ijaws are part of the Biafran state. Speaking via a statement today by the national spokesperson of the Ijaw Youth Council, Ambassador Biniba Yerin Prince-Will, the group said the Ijaw people would not tolerate any other reckless comment about their people and territories belonging to the Biafra. Speaking further, Prince-Will noted that Ijaw people had never at any point in time been part of Biafra and can never be part of Biafra. Elsewhere, the chairman of Tantita Security Services Nigeria Limited, Government Ekpemukpolo, widely known as Tompolo, has made headlines by purchasing front-page advertisements in numerous national newspapers to celebrate President Bwala Tinubu's 72nd birthday, despite the president's request for a modest commemoration. Now, the presidency had previously announced that President Tinubu would not be celebrating his birthday on March 29, citing the current economic difficulties facing the country. It was made clear that the president wished to avoid any celebratory events and encouraged well-wishers to instead donate to charity in his name. Contrary to these wishes, Tompolo, whose firm is integral to combating crude oil theft in the Niger Delta, opted to honor the president with prominent birthday messages in at least 8 national dailies today. Reports from the cable suggest that the most, or rather the cost, of such front-page advertisements averages around 10 million naira each. The act, a public celebration by Tompolo, is not unprecedented. In October 2023, following the Supreme Court's confirmation of Tinubu's presidential election win, he similarly acquired front-page spaces in several newspapers to celebrate the verdict. A legal practitioner and former chairman of SPIDAL, Monday Obani, has expressed his dismay over Binance executive Nadeem Anjarwala's escape from Nigeria. You'll recall that Anjarwala, Binance's Africa regional manager, escaped from lawful custody in Nigeria on March 22. The Office of the National Security Advisor confirmed Anjarwala's escape in an official statement, further complicating the Nigerian government's efforts to crack down on the cryptocurrency platform. Reacting to the situation, Ubani, who appeared as a guest on a particular monitored television program today, described it as completely embarrassing. Meanwhile, Binance's executive Tigran Gambarian has sued the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, over the alleged violation of his fundamental rights. Gambarian, in the originating motion dated and filed March 18 by his lawyer, Olujoke Aliyu from Aliko and Oyebode law firm, sought 5 reliefs before Justice Ijeoma Egwuatu. Also, Nadeem Anjarwala, the Binance's Africa regional manager, who escaped from the lawful custody on particularly March 22, filed a separate right enforcement suit before Justice Egwuatu. The sought same reliefs. Gambarian, who is a U.S. citizen overseeing financial crime compliance at the crypto exchange platform, in his application sought a declaration that his detention and seizure of his international travel passport contravened Section 31, subsection 1 and 4 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. He said the act violated his fundamental right to personal liberty, which is guaranteed by the Constitution. He also sought an order directing the respondents to release him from their custody and return his international travel passport with immediate effect. Gambari and equally sought an order perpetual injunction restraining the respondents and agents from further detaining him in relation to any investigation into or demands from Binance. The official who sought an order for the respondents to issue a public apology to him also prayed for the cost of his action on a full indemnity basis. In the statement in support of the suit, he said he is an American citizen who visited Nigeria in February 26, along with fleeing Nadim Anjarwala, who is a representative of Binance, to honor the invitation of the Ansar and EFCC to discuss issues relating to Binance in Nigeria. In a recent development, a notorious Boko Haram commander, simply identified as Malam Yatta Balwe, has surrendered to troops of the Nigerian army in Borno State. The Emir of Goza, Alhaji Mohammed Shehu Tinta, made the disclosure today, revealing that the Boko Haram commander, who had been terrorizing Goza and the surrounding Mandara mountain communities, surrendered to the troops of Operation Hardinkai. The monarch said Yatta Balwe willingly came out from his enclave this morning with 2 AK-47 rifles and some ammunition and surrendered himself to the Nigerian army. The traditional ruler ordered that the terrorist has been moved to Maiduguri for questioning. VOP News gathered that Yatta Balwe, before surrendering, had been responsible for a series of attacks and killings, including the slaughtering of farmers on their farmlands in Goza local government area and its environs. And to finances, the Central Bank of Nigeria plans to closely monitor the recapitalization of the Nigerian banking sector in collaboration with law enforcement agencies. The move is intended to prevent illicit financing in the sector. The director of the CBN's Financial Policy and Regulation Department, Haruna Mustafa, disclosed this in a circular today. The circular addressed commercial, merchant and non-interest banks, including promoters of proposed banks, regarding the new minimum capital requirements for banks. The Bankers Bank said it will conduct the enforcement with the collaboration of relevant law enforcement agencies. And according to the circular, the CBN wants to ensure that the capital raised during the recapitalization process is free from illegality. You do recall that the CBN has raised the minimum capital requirements for all banks in Nigeria. And now actually have via the telephone a legal practitioner, a political and social affairs commentator, and that is Barrister Eze Eluche. Now, Barrister Eze Eluche will actually help give us a breakdown on some critical news stories I read here earlier, where he will give us his perspective on some of these issues and basically give us a proper recommendation as to how this issue would unfold or possibly give a predetermined resolution to the situation. Barrister Eze Eluche, good evening and welcome to the World News at 6.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me in your studio virtually.
All right, thank you so much. Barrister Eze Eluche, this particular question is actually in your capacity to properly respond to. I'm sure you're aware of the whole Binance escape situation, and apparently they sued the EFCC and they also sued Nuhi Ribadu, that is the security advisor, and they're saying that they terminated and mutilated his fundamental rights. According to Anjarwala and Binance executive, they came to Nigeria based on an invite by the federal government in February to respond to situation with the forex, that is the forex situation, that is the naira to the dollar crisis. You recall at the time we're seeing a sporadic increase from the naira to the dollar. Well, a lot of people consider it quite ironic that Binance could actually sue the federal government, considering whatever evidence the government said they had against Binance, the escape that actually took place, and the fact that they bought the ticket that day at the airport. Now, they're not afraid of anything. They're standing on their rights and suing the federal government and the National Security Advisor. What's your take on this recent development with Binance?
Well, my take is that it is very unlikely that any foreign country will want to repatriate the Binance official to Nigeria, because you've had what it was virtually tricked into the country, and then it's not even a citizen of Nigeria. Okay. And we know the kind of legal system we have here. It doesn't give much confidence. I mean, even Nigerians are very worried about the way real it is. These are the factors that foreign authorities will consider before repatriating their citizens to another country for court appearances. So, I mean, the man is out of the country, so Nigeria can as well forget him, and if there are any other things they can do with him, they can go ahead and do with it. But the man is gone, he's gone. Okay. They have to be realistic. And then the issue is, whoever in the national security at the DSS who were in charge of the custody of that character, it should be dealt with. You see, in Nigeria, we have people who have offices but no responsibility. They're not accountable. So there's a director for DSS, there's someone in charge of the Buddha Directorate. Why are those people still in office when a high-profile suspect in their custody has left? I mean, in other countries, there would have been resignations by now. But it's well over a week after this man left, and there's no resignation. There's no show of accountability. It's business as usual in the DSS. They should be ashamed of themselves. And this is a call for all other security agencies. DSS, some heads have begun to roll by now, but since there's no heads rolling, it is very likely that a similar thing will occur in the future.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister Egwuatu. Let's look at the situation between Daniel Bwala and Peter Obi, the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party. Daniel Bwala is likening Peter Obi to Judas Iscariot. Now, the aide has taken to Instagram. Can you hear me, Barrister Eze?
Yes, I'm back. Go ahead.
So he has taken to Instagram to troll the Labour Party presidential candidate, all right? And in that post he shared on his Twitter handle, Bwala shared a video of Peter Obi vowing never to leave APGA, and he likened him to Judas Iscariot, who betrayed Ojukuwu, Atiku. Now, in that video, what Bwala posted, he says, I'm reading out what Bwala said. Take a listen to Peter Obi in APGA vowing if he leaves APGA, let his family die. This is before he embarked on his political, I don't want to use that word on air. He has since moved from APGA to PDP to Labour Party and now planning to move to the Social Democratic Party. He betrayed Odimegwu Ojukwu, he betrayed Atiku Abubakar, and now planning to betray Pat Utomi and Co. This Easter period, we celebrate the decorated Judas Iscariot. Here in this video, Peter Obi making excuses for him, but they would not understand with anyone else. Now, Daniel Bwala is alleging that obedience will always support Peter Obi, regardless of, supposedly, according to his words, how ridiculous some decisions he makes are. And that Peter Obi at some point had vowed he would not leave APGA. He had vowed he would not leave PDP. But here he is with the Labour Party. He's insinuating from his post that because of the situation ongoing within the Labour Party, that Peter Obi intends to move to another political party, which is the Social Democratic Party. My question to you, Barrister Egwuatu, is this one. What is Daniel Bwala's case with Peter Obi? He was never a spokesperson for the Labour Party. He once used to be with the PDP. Now he seems to be a spokesperson for the APC. So what exactly is Daniel Bwala's issue with the Labour Party situation and Peter Obi as a person? He's been making concerted efforts to possibly make derogatory statements against Peter Obi. Is this politics? Is this basically what politics is all about?
Well, oftentimes I don't like commenting on comments by rabble-rousers. And one of the greatest rabble-rousers we have in this country is Mr. Bwala. Mr. Bwala was abusing Bola Tinubu, abused even the parents of Bola Tinubu before now. Then soon after he was offered something, he jumped ship. So why bother with the comments of such a character? So it's irrelevant what he feels. He can think whatever he likes, but there are political expediencies which will make it possible for Mr. Peter B to go to any other party he decides to go to. Like I said from the very on, Labour Party was not really a party. The issue is the person of Mr. Peter B. That is, Nigerians saw what they like in that character, and that is why they will vote for him anywhere, perhaps anywhere he goes into. So what Mr. Bwala, whoever feels, they are entitled to their opinion, but I'm sure to Nigerians it's mostly irrelevant.
Okay, but the reason why I'm asking you, why I feel that this is a cause for conversation, or why I need your perception to this, is the fact that due to the ongoing internal wrangling within the Labour Party, and there have been calls from obedience and others alike for Peter Obi to resolve the imbroglio within the party. They've been waiting to hear Peter Obi's official response to what's going on within the Labour Party. And there have been questions as to how this could affect his 2027 political ambition, because he already is coring it. He's already working on it. We've been seeing how he's been visiting and lending support in several areas and being a strong political critic to what going on within this administration. Today, he's supposed to hold, I think he's supposed to address obedience on Twitter anytime from now, this evening. He's going to do that on X to address issues. He's going to have a podcast with them, but on X. And I think everyone understands basically why he wants to speak with his supporters. So Daniel Bwala coming from this angle, would we say it's a means to cause some political debates between political opponents?
No, I think I'm still maintaining my ground. The people thinking that Mr. Peter B will correct the ills of Labour Party are not being serious. Labour Party has deep-rooted problems, just like most example school parties. They have deep-rooted problems, but the issue of Mr. Peter B is not a politician in the mold of most exam politicians. Those who went the obedience are flowing with him because of what they see in him. So the issue of him trying to repair or getting involved with the Labour Party problems, he only stain himself the more. So people who are close to him have asked him that he should stay clear from the Labour Party politics, because just normal Nigerian partisan politics.
Okay.
And that is not the mold in which Nigerians want to continue to perceive Mr. Peter B. So it is in his own best interest to keep away from the mud being slung by the various factions of the Labour Party and maintain his position. Those who say he keeps on going around visiting crisis places or commiserating with victims of different natural disasters, that is who he has been. Even before he came out for the elections, he's been the same person. Yeah, so I don't think he's and we should stop thinking of 2027. Would he be alive? Will you and I be alive? Will Nigeria still be there by then?
But Barrister Ezeruche, I agree with you. We're supposed to be thinking of now with the current economic situation. People can barely eat. Insecurities on the rise. People are being killed and are dying every day. But whether we like it or not, these political elites are already strategizing ahead of 2027, and already they're putting in strategies and machinations to ensure that there is no strong opposition, no strong political opposition against them. So realistically, Barrister Ezeruche, regardless of what exactly is going on politically, these individuals are working ahead of 2027. And just like you said, Peter Obi is already working on that. We saw him break fast recently, with some Muslim fasting members. Hello, can you hear me?
Let me correct one notion.
Okay.
One notion.
All right, please do. Hello, Barrister. Okay.
So likewise, by 2027, we don't even know what will happen by then.
Okay.
So let us not go.
Hello, Barrister Eze, can you hear me? All right, we seem to have lost touch with Barrister Eze. I'll try to reconnect with him. The network has been quite, would I say, erratic, specifically for the past 2 weeks now. So while I try to reestablish connection with Barrister Ezeruche, the question I'm actually wanting Barrister Ezeruche to direct us on or give us a better perspective on is the fact that a lot of obedience feel that there are some specific individuals strategically trying to create the pit or the vacuum, the problem within the Labour Party to destabilize whatever political ambition that Peter Obi has. Others feel that Peter Obi is not acting as possibly a true Igbo individual. They're already ethnicizing it. They feel that he shouldn't have allowed the situation within the Labour Party to degenerate to this point whereby his political opponents are ridiculing the party. And that's why I'm actually asking Barrister Eze to help us shed more light on this. While I have established connection with him, I want us to actually go to another situation that I consider paramount for us to talk about. And that is concerning the federal government, that is the U.S. House of Representatives. They have reportedly advanced resolution to increase sanctions on Nigeria over the persecution of Christians in the country. The Nigerian government has pleaded with the United States of America to shield the resolution by its House of Representatives, seeking to designate Nigeria as a country of concern over allegations of religious intolerance. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Toga, made the appeal on Wednesday when President Bwala Tinubu received a delegation from the United States Congress led by Senator Cory Booker at the State House in Abuja. Now, the U.S. House of Representatives had reportedly advanced a resolution to increase sanctions on Nigeria over the persecution of Christians in the country, and that Nigeria has been recognized for years by religious rights groups as one of the most dangerous countries in the world to be a Christian. Barrister Ezeruche, are you with me now? Barrister Eze?
Well,
are you with me now?
Yes, sure, I am. I'm hearing you, yes.
All right. right. So apparently, like I told you, the Nigerian government has made moves to beg the U.S. House not to pull through by declaring Nigeria a religious intolerant country. Basically, the House is saying that as a Christian, living in Nigeria as a Christian is one of the most dangerous things to do. For example, they are stating that with the delegation that visited the president, they're saying that there have been increased sanctions, there have been calls for sanctions on the U.S. House to declare Nigeria a religious intolerant nation because of the persecution Christians have been going through in the past few years. And this particular bill is sponsored by U.S. House of Representatives Chris Smith. The resolution is to call on Joe Biden's administration to designate Nigeria a country of particular concern, a designation that comes with additional sanctions. What's your take on this, Barrister Eze?
On this is that the American system is built on facts and discernible facts. For that
Okay,
matter.
all right.
So, yes, when they say that they are going to designate Nigeria a concern with regard to the killing of Christians on ground.
Hello, Barrister Eze. Hello. Hello.
Yes. I am hearing you.
All right, go ahead. You're breaking.
Okay, but are you hearing? Is it okay?
Okay, go ahead, Barrister.
We may be in ourselves no religious.
Hello? Wow. Barrister Eze Uche. The network is terrible, Barrister. I basically really cannot hear you at all. It's quite unfortunate. Barrister Eze is not in Lagos at the moment. Maybe the distance is what is causing this. But what I wanted Barrister Eze Uche to help me actually explain as a legal practitioner, one who understands international relations and international diplomacy, the House is there are some individuals, or rather, who have been seeking the U.S. to come and intervene. There have been calls that Nigeria is religiously intolerant and Nigeria is a country of particular concern, specifically for those who practice Christianity, that as a Christian, this part of the world is not a safe place for you to practice your religion as a Christian. Now, we do know that some of the wranglings, especially some of the killings taking place in the north that has been rife lately, some areas have been more targeted on Christians who dominate such communities. And this is basically what the United States is saying, that if they actually ban Nigeria, or if they consider Nigeria a country of particular concern, especially a country intolerant to Christians, there is a possibility that there'll be sanctions. And whatever it is that the Nigerian government, whatever aid or assistance that may be required with the United States, may not be given to them. And so the president and his team are actually looking for a way to resolve that. So the House does not pass that motion, that is, the United States House does not pass that motion against Nigeria as a government. So it would not stall whatever grants or emoluments they may get from the US, because if that happens, more sanctions will be imposed. That's basically what it means. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, who is Ambassador Yusuf Toga, is the one who is appealing, and this was on Wednesday when the president received a delegation from the US, which was led by Senator Cory Booker at the State House in Abuja. The resolution will increase sanctions if it passes through in the House, and that considering the fact that if that resolution goes through, where they demand that Nigeria be taxed as a country of particular concern, it will not be a good thing whatsoever. It will not be a good thing. So that's one of the reasons, or that's one of the issues that they're looking into. And Barrister Eze Uche would have actually helped us to shed light in that regard, what this means for Christians in this part of the world and how the federal government intends to resolve that imbroglio. If that sanction is passed, then what happens? What other deals or what other grants would the federal government be requiring with the United States that they think, if this sanction goes through or this resolution goes through, what benefits that will be stored from the Nigerian government? If the resolution goes through, then there will be some benefits that will be stored from the Nigerian government having to access these benefits from the United States. But we do know that insecurity has been rife, and that specifically in some regions in the country, the Christians have been targeted more. So these are the areas I would have wanted Barrister Eze to help shed us light, but we are out of time at the moment. So I need to wrap up the world news at 6, and to do that, let's take a summary of the top stories. We listen to the fact that Ijaw youth have warned Simon Ekpa. They've distanced themselves from Biafra. Tom Polo shuns Tinubu's wish for low-key birthday. Buyout front page of national dailies. Monday Ubani is lambasting federal government on Binance's executive escape. Most wanted Boko Haram commander surrenders to Nigerian army. And the CBN moves to check illicit financing and partner security agencies. That's a wrap on the World News at 6. My name is Esther Ojukuwu. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel at VOP903FM. Also, our social media handles at VOP903FM. Good evening. Thank you for listening. Up next is the Evening Rush with Precious.